Thank you, Robert. And how perfect for our talk today. We're continuing our series in April on the topic of transformation. And our talk title today is The Science of the Absolute. Sounds a little ominous, doesn't it? The Science of the Absolute. When I first saw this title, and I will tell you that we follow a curriculum that CSL overall organization puts out. And so most Sundays I do follow that unless there's something special going on here within our community that we need to celebrate. So I got this talk title, The Science of the Absolute. I got real intimidated because, oh my God, what is the absolute? And what does this mean? People get freaked out over science, and sure, they're going to get freaked out over the word absolute. Well, maybe it was just me. So I took a few breaths, did what I usually do, which is, when I can remember, pray. And it occurred to me, go to the Science of Mind textbook. Surely Ernest says something about the absolute. And it was delightful, because in the back of the Science of Mind textbook, it gives references for different words. And so when I looked up the word absolute, there were 26 references to it. Woo! See? Great punctuation, Chris. I love it. So relax, because I'm not going to read you all 26 references. But I do want to read you the definition of absolute out of the glossary from the Science of Mind textbook. Ernest defines absolute as the unconditioned, that which nothing can limit, that which forever transcends any conceivable limitation or determination, unconditioned perfection, self-existence, self-sufficient, often used as a synonym for God. Ernest is just talking about God, and he uses all these different words for God, and here he is calling God the absolute. That's what it is. So what is the science? If this is the science of the absolute, I was getting a little smarter. I went to the glossary of the Science of Mind textbook. And Ernest defines science as knowledge of laws and principles, organized knowledge. So it's knowing the laws and principles of the absolute, of God. Let me tell you, the sermon was preached already when Robert sang, because that's the talk. Finding the joy in me, in you, when we recognize the absolute, when we recognize God in us, and we use that understanding of scientific principle there, the laws of nature and the laws of spirit, then we create our lives. Very exciting. I think you've probably heard that before because I've said it. And I hope you're paying attention. Because this is what makes our lives so wonderful, is when we can really create the life we want. So we're not looking for anything outside of ourselves. We're looking for that God within, the absolute perfection, the absolute knowledge and understanding within us to be revealed, to be opened to us. So this lesson is really about helping us do, or encouraging us to do, our deep personal work. Because I can't tell you how you relate to the God within you. That's a very personal situation. We each have our own experience of God. And we get to choose how good that's going to be or how much we're going to ignore it. When we understand and do this deep personal work for ourselves, we begin to heal our thoughts, our limited thoughts, the things that hold us back in life. And we are revealed a newer, a larger, a greater view of what can happen for us. Last week I introduced you to the book Love and Law, Unpublished Teachings of Ernest Holmes. And in that book, on page 146, Ernest has a quote. And so when I went to this quote to look at it, I looked at the whole chapter. And guess what? The title of the chapter is The Science of the Absolute. And so I started doing a little research. And what I found out was when Ernest Holmes first started teaching, and remember these were lessons and lectures that he gave in his very early days. So 1916, when he was doing private lessons for people, he didn't call this the science of mind. He called it the science of the absolute. Well, I've studied school for many years, and I never heard that before. So that was news to me. How exciting. He started with the science of the absolute. I think I like science of mind. It's a little bit easier. But he's talking about God here. And so Ernest says, every living soul is a point of personified God consciousness. Immutable, allness, power, now. You are not approaching the point, but you are the point. You are the point of God consciousness. You are how God shows up. He goes on to say, fearlessly announce that you are the truth and nothing but the truth. Know that within you now dwells the eternal God, for all the presence, all the power, all the God there is within you now. God is fully within you now. We just get to reveal it. We're each our own expression of that unique God within. Ernest wrote an article called An Experiment in Faith. Ernest was a person who had a great personality. He actually had a great sense of humor. And a lot of people don't realize that because they look at all his teachings and they get so serious with this. And sometimes Ernest isn't the easiest person to read. But then if you take the Roots class and you read Emerson and Troward, Ernest is a whole lot easier to read. So Ernest, in his article called An Experiment in Faith, says, when God put us here, he made us each a little different. Now realize this was 1916 or 18, so he wasn't using inclusive pronouns, but it does cover all of us. When God put us here, he made each one of us a little different. And if each one of us is a little different, as though each one were a new mold, then the greatest adventure in life would be an experiment within ourselves to see what we could do with this thing inside of us. So if we're each unique in our talents and our abilities, the greatest experiment we can do in life is see how we can take ourselves and let that come forth to create what only we can create. I get pretty jazzed about that. Can you feel the passion that Ernest had for this philosophy when he says that kind of thing? People, experiment. If this is God in you, and it's all fully in you, then why not experiment and just try to prove what God can do through you? This is a whole different concept than what churches have been teaching in the past, where God was outside of us and we were trying to beg for forgiveness, where we needed to do something to feel good about ourselves and to be in communion. There is no separation with God. God is within us all of the time. Other churches were preaching hellfire and damnation. You had to do what they told you to do on their terms, or you weren't going to have any kind of heaven. Ernest comes through and says, we create heaven right here on earth. It's in our own minds. It's in our own thinking. This is our life. And we are one with God, and therefore we can do whatever we want. As long as it's not hurting other people, there's all this love and joy and peace and excitement that we can experience in life. Do you want that kind of life? I hope so. God is in us, and we are each unique expressions. And we embody that allness of God. But we're a little different from one another. So we can't judge each other. You can't look at the person next to you and say, you must not be doing something right because you're not doing it just like me. Doesn't work, does it? Then we'd be little robots. So God's not talking about the free will that we have as humans. It's talking about our natural gifts and talents. Now, some of you may be saying, well, I don't really have any gifts. Yes, you do. We all have gifts and talents. Some of us haven't revealed them very well. And some of us reveal them and don't even realize that we're revealing them. You know, the person that can have somebody come into their home, and in the first 5 minutes, they've got them sitting down and their shoes are off and they've served them tea and they have cookies there and they're just ready to chat and have a good time of relating. That's a talent. Because some people can't do that. They're too nervous and they can't welcome somebody into their home and make them feel comfortable. So we all have talents. And you may say, well, that's not really a talent. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Some people can speak. Some people can sing. Some people can play instruments. And we look at those and think, oh, those are the really talented people. When you can give love to somebody, when you can make somebody feel welcome, when you can hold somebody's hand as they're going through something that is rough, that's a talent. And it's something that only you can do. Nobody can take your place. Are you willing to step up and allow your gifts to be shared? Felina, I think we have another slide. Oh, you have it there already. Good for you. The nature of God is within us. And so we often say that we are the microcosm within the macrocosm. And what that's saying is the macrocosm is God, is the absolute, the perfect love, the perfect peace, the perfect power. And we are that same thing, that same nature is within us. And we can reveal that if we choose to. In our humanness, we have free will. So we can limit God. We can say, oh no, I don't deserve that. Oh no, nobody would want to hear about that. Nobody would want me to do that. What will people think of me? But that is our nature. Life is happening in us and through us. The nature of God is always to create. Are you looking around the world? I love seeing the little crocuses pop up out of the ground. I love seeing the trees bloom, although it's given me terrible allergies. I love seeing, I was talking with someone this week and they said, we went to our cabin and it's up in the mountains, and she said, the earth is just pregnant. It's ready to burst forth. It was so wonderful to have that vision. Yes, the earth is changing. God is always changing things. We have the different seasons that we go through. And we go through different seasons in our lives. So sometimes we're able to give more. And sometimes it's a time to step back and allow others to give to us. It's all part of the ebb and flow of life. But God is always creating. So we are always creating. Now we're creating with our thoughts, aren't we? It's our minds that are creating our reality. And how much good do we think we can have or handle in our lives? What will we allow in? Ernest Holmes, kind of his tagline here is change your thinking, change your life. So if we want to have a different life, we need to change how it is that we're thinking. And Ernest says it's difficult to do this. It's a very simple practice, but it's not easy. When you're feeling lack and limitation, when you see no money in your bank account, it's hard to say, I am prosperous. I have all that I need and more. I'm abundant. Because we have that checking account, right? And we check to see, are we prosperous? Oh, I'm not prosperous this week. That's not how you use a checking account. God is always there. Will we allow it to be revealed? It will be revealed through us. And knowing that God is unlimited means our creative abilities are unlimited, only limited by our own belief. The second line is my favorite quote from Ernest. We are only limited by our own beliefs. What will we allow our minds to accept? What will we allow into our lives? We're started a prosperity class this week. And in the prosperity class, this first week, the members of the class are invited to dream. Dream how they would like their life to be. The question was, what would you love in life? And what would you love in the areas of health, prosperity, time and talent, I think she calls it, jobs, and relationships? 4 areas. And so I encourage the class to dream big, because what we're doing is we're looking this week and dreaming about what would we like our life to be like in 3 years. It's kind of helpful if you've got 3 years to think, okay, I don't have to do it today. But did you hear that? I don't have to do it today. God will do it. I just have to allow it to happen. And so we do this dance around what can we accept? What would we like to have 3 years from now? And does your mind say, who do you think you are? Oh, come on, you know that's not going to be right. Or does it say, yes, with God all things are possible. Yes, they're saying this is my truth. I'm going to claim it. I'm going to live it. Earnest experiment in faith that I mentioned earlier. If God is within me, then the greatest thing I can do is experiment and see how can I let that come out. In what ways can I let that come out? It's inside of us and it's waiting to be revealed. Will we allow it to be revealed? Or are we going to limit it by our negative thoughts? Some people might think you're a little bizarre if you do this. Well, we're religious scientists, and let me just tell you, in case you haven't noticed, as religious scientists, we are a little bizarre. We are unique, and when we embrace our uniqueness, we're able to live a fuller life, a better life. We're not bound by what everyone else in the world is trying to say and do to us and around us. We know that deep inside of us is our source. That's what Robert was singing about. The joy inside coming up. The peace inside coming up because it comes out, and that's God expressing. And I want you to know that you are unique. And because you are unique, nobody has ever done what you have done. So when you declare to the world, this is what I'm going to do, my 3-year plan, this is what I'm going to do, and somebody else says, you can't do that. Has anybody ever done that before? Well, heck no, nobody's done it before, because you're the one that Spirit is going to do it through. You're the one that has your own unique set of gifts and talents. And that's just what the world is waiting for, is for you to do it, to do what you're called to do. It comes from deep inside. And so what if people think we're bizarre? Remember the book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business? It's true. We need to each be true to our own truth, to what beliefs, what power, what talents and gifts Spirit has given us. And when we know that and when we're true to that, wow, life really opens up. Now, if you have people around you that are saying, you can't do that. Come on, Dorothy, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard anybody say. If that's the kind of friends you have, get new friends. Because you need people around you that will support your dreams, your unique talents, and bless you with them. When I first got into recovery from food addiction, I had friends that were just all up in arms. They're like, there's no way, we can't have you over. Your food plan is too restrictive. We can't eat anything. We don't know what to fix you. You're no fun to have around. Well, I had to literally distance myself from some of those people because they didn't really want what was best for me. They didn't want me to be able to thrive in my life. They wanted to stay in their limited thinking, and they wanted me to stay in that limited thinking because that's what they were used to. So when we get outside of ourselves, when we're blazing new trails, when we're opening ourselves up to more in life, sometimes we have to let people go that are not being supportive. But come here. At CSL Parker, we will support you in your dreams because we know that we live an unlimited life, that Spirit is always waiting to give us more. We cannot outgive God, and there's always more ready for us. In prosperity class, I was told about a guy who had a unique job. What he wanted to do in life, what he really loved, his passion, was jumping rope. And this man travels the world jumping rope. Now, what does your mind say to that? Well, that's the craziest thing. How bizarre. Or does it say, like Jim, awesome. Great, here's somebody living his passion. I want to be like that. No, I don't want to jump rope. But I want to be so passionate that I know I can do something even if other people think it sounds bizarre. In the book, Love and Law, again, on page 57, Ernest says, people who expect to demonstrate this principle, the principle is God, our unlimited nature, that we can do anything, there's an ultimate source, and it is unlimited. So people who expect to demonstrate this principle must be very constant, very determined, very positive, very sure, very faithful with themselves, patient with themselves, long-suffering with themselves. You will rise and you will fall. You will become discouraged and you will become encouraged. But always you will be progressing. Always. And you must simply stick to it. And the day will come when you will no longer say, I hope, I desire, I pray. But you will say, I know. And you can hasten that day by doing away with all the arguments now and simply accepting your unlimited nature. I want to be in that place where I say, I know. And I can tell you, I know I am in the right place at the right time. And this is where God has called me to be. And that's very exciting for me. We create our own dreams, but we have to be clear about what those dreams are. If we don't have a dream, then anything can show up. If you don't know where you're going, any road can take you there. Oh, you have the right slide. I have a story here I want to share with you. There was a grandfather who was passing his granddaughter's bedroom. And as he looked in, he saw the granddaughter was kneeling beside her bed. She had her hands folded in prayer and her head bowed. And she was reciting the alphabet. And the grandfather stood there and watched a minute. And then he walked in and he said, "Honey, what are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, grandfather, I'm saying my prayers, but I don't really know what I should say. So I'm just reciting all the letters of the alphabet, and God can put them together however he thinks best." What is our mental picture of life? Are we spending time just saying the alphabet and let God put it together however God thinks is best? If you're doing that, let me tell you, that is a belief in a God out there, not the God in here that's being revealed. So choose and be clear about what you want in life. When we prepared to move here, Tom and I got together. We knew coming to Colorado, we would be getting a house. So I put together a list of everything I wanted in the new house. Here's my list. And then I went through it, It was fabulous. That was the first thing on the list. 3+ bedrooms, 2+ baths, 2-car garage, granite countertops, great finishes, a first-floor master that's very spacious, private and secure feeling, great neighbors, super amenities that we actually use, cozy and nurturing, affordable, with easy access to stores, restaurants, medical care, highways, roads, friends, etc. And I knew, and I affirmed this several times a day. I got here back in January, knowing my new house is going to be revealed. I've looked at 70 houses plus. We have put contracts on 9 houses and didn't get them. Looking back, 8 of those houses didn't have everything on my list. I was settling. And then the day came where I got really disturbed. And I just wrote at the bottom of it, "Our new home is revealed easily and clearly now. We accept it with thanksgiving and gratitude." And I folded it up like that and I left it on my little altar area that said, "Our new home is." I wasn't saying the alphabet, but it's like, this is what I want. Here it all is, God. Show me, show me. And then I walked into this house. And the realtor looked really funny. And I looked at him and I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Look around. I think this is your house." And I walked around. 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, first floor master, which was very important to us and I had been finding, plus another bedroom on the first floor that could be my office with a full bathroom right beside it. It's wonderful. Has great finishes. It is fabulous. And we just found out that the HOA mows the front yard, the backyard, takes care of the outside of the house and the roof. So it's like living in a condo. And we're responsible for the walls in. Now, if that's not enough, if it snows 2 inches or more, the HOA scrapes the driveway and the sidewalks. I love it. It's perfect. So I had to be clear about what I wanted. Sticking with my dream, even when I got frustrated. Why is this not showing up? Well, you know why it didn't show up? This couple went and put their house on the market in September. I wasn't here in September. You had not called me to come and be your minister yet. They took it. They signed the paperwork, but they didn't put it on the market. In December, they put it on the market, probably because I came and candidated in December. But then she got sick. And so after a couple days, they took it right off the market. And it just went on the market a few weeks ago. I was there the first day they had showings. It was the right place. I knew it was ours, and I claimed it. So be clear about what you want, and it will show up. It didn't happen in the first 8 houses or the first 70 some that we looked at. But stay with your dream, and you will achieve it. This is not what I thought was coming up. Oh, it was at the bottom of the other slide. That's why. That's fine. Our goal here in living the science of the absolute, the science of God, is to awaken within ourselves the beauty and the magnificence that is the absolute, that is God, that wants to give us all of those good things that we want. Many people in religious science, when we say our spiritual prayers, our affirmative prayers or spiritual mind treatment, at the end, we will often say this or something better. And so I invite you to take that on if that speaks to you, because sometimes we don't know exactly what we want. I had an idea of what I wanted in the house, but I was also open to something better. So this or something better. It's much, much more effective than just saying the letters of the alphabet and letting God arrange it for us. We often say, as within, so without. We live our lives from the inside out. So if we're unclear inside about what we want, about who we are, what our dreams are, then we're going to see that same confusion outside. But when we stand firm in our truth, in our unique talents and abilities, then we are ready to reveal that outside. And you'll see it in your circumstances, you'll see it in your relationships, you'll see it in your finances, in your health. It's waiting for you to reveal all of God that wants to be revealed through you as your unique self. Let us pray. There is one power, one presence, one Spirit that is in us and through us, that is the very life that breathes us, and it is the absolute, the unconditioned province, the unconditioned life and love that has no conditions on it because it is unlimited. And I know that each one of us here is one with that. And each person in this world is one with that. That God, that Spirit, that nature that is ever creating. And so I just speak my word of blessing for each one of us, that we are able to move past the mind chatter that we have into the knowing of our unity with that power and presence. That God that wants to reveal itself through us each day, in each situation, that wants to give us good and more good in our lives, that wants to help us achieve our dreams. And so we open our hearts and our minds to that dream, to that ability to know that within us is the power that will reveal all we need. We love it, we accept it, and we say thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for all you are doing in us, through us, and as us. Give us your strength that we can stay focused, consistent, and know the life that is good and very good. For the truth of this word, I release it into the universe that always says yes, because it is that God principle. It says yes. Whatever you believe, you can achieve. And together we say, and so it is.